I got you. Let it vibe real quick. Look. The city eyes. It's time to bogart. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shotty in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation voltage and fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times 2. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. Colder than the avalanche, way above average. A fiend's taste sweet, told him make me an apple crisp. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Child become a man, dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evanston with Mark Quad, telling me how them crackers turned his childhood to a ghost town. Poker stop, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no tangent. Try to warn them niggas, we bear arms like tarantulas. Them other niggas rap, I make anthems. I really seen prophets under this banner. Made my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty Diana. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo. Spirit ancient, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Waldo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Hate me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. Ride around with Yaradon, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than Baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence, yeah.
This video taken by the ISUPK is posted on the school's website and on YouTube. He says he and members of his Christian Bible... This video taken by the ISUPK is posted on the school's website and on YouTube. He says he and members of his Christian Bible school are well within their First Amendment rights. But shop owners say they've heard enough. Today in court, their lawyers argued the group is trespassing. In addition, they say the group
Niggas want me dead. Crackers too, but these coon ass niggas, they for the feds. My stick full of lead. In case these whole niggas try me, man, I might have to make that bed. No need to even flex. Cause how I walk it, how I talk it, let you know my speech direct. You heard what I said. Another move, your life passing through your mind, now you're big. And I'm fresh like a motherfucker. Niggas hating cause they mom want us. I'm just coolin' by myself, but now they all on me. Shut up, bitch, eat a dick, I don't wanna love you. Sippin' that pool, wow, got you laced up out your shoe now. Look what you finna do, wow, it's hot. Hop around these niggas till you flop. I'm busy getting mine, but all these niggas wanna dock. But it's cool, let me know I'm on the top. Steady in the courtroom, always fighting cops. Call the white man the devil, and that's off the top. So they try to stop my movement with a block, but I beat the case every damn time, so they watch. Waiting on the nigga to try to make me slip up. Walking up on me like homeboy, what's in your cup? Do you have any drugs? Well, let me see the slugs. Make it your bitch ass back, get mad, you ain't getting love. Your wife made you clip it damn nuts, yeah, I know. Crazy what coon people will do for these hoes. But I ain't even pressed, I see why you going on. My nigga, you dead wrong, bust a netball, get it on.
Black and white land, shit is crazy. Black and white land, shit is crazy.
I'm freshen up, cleaner than the motherfucker. Good juice in my cup is redder than the blood sucker. Drip on leak, yeah, drip on me. Hey, talking about, but what the fuck do you mean? Yeah, you see these damn bitches, they be choosing on me. But I don't want the bitch, but that bitch drooling on me. I get to walking on the girl, she wanna moving with me. But I won't have it cause she easy like spaghetti, homie. Unleashed it to the G. Who is he, that nigga from SC? Get your level straight before you approach a G. Cyan TC 0013. 6 on the stick, it got me cruising off the scene. The fuck do you mean? Yeah, that nigga, yeah. They nigga be hating, but they can't penetrate us. Tryna shoot at us now or later, but I'ma get you now. Potato on the bow, blank, blow.
But even 30 years later, videos don't necessarily lead to convictions of officers. Advocates for reform say that needs to change.
Shaw, that's AJR.
Shaw, man, you know what I'm saying? Realest nigga out there, man. Nigga turned up, feel me? Nigga turned the city up, fucking with his music. We out of color right now.
Where we at, though? Where we at?
Greenville, South Carolina, man.
Where we at?
Shout out Shaw, man. Turned up, man.
Damn right.
Fuck with him, man.
Get him in that. Right. Birds, you did. There go, brother.
This a Batman tune, I promise you. This shit lit, cuz. This shit lit, alright? Run that joint.
Niggas looking for the light. Me and my niggas prepared for the dog. Yeah. So we gon' get it on for the last days, nigga. You already know what it is. 140 for the rebel.
They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. It's a problem, tell them pop off. I die for I let my colors fly, boy. For a nigga take me, they'll drop dead. AR, clean them up like a mop pig. Say he cool, he bad, he really so tough. They like, damn, look what he did, it really go rough. Little bitch think she Kiki Palmer, silly hoe. She know I'm that bull, but I ain't from Philly though. From the city where they sing about that ribbon like Pt.2. Know them niggas plotting, gotta deal with me. Can't catch me slipping, got to steal with me. Just left Alabama, bought a chopper from some hillbilly move. He made my life feel the blade. Leave them all bruised, come through like a plague. Rebel off the leash like a dog out the cage. Call me Johnny Blaze on Run West May. Watch your step get stretched like a limousine. So my brother bring that blade back wet. That's my enemy. Little nigga, this that cult need to talk. Niggas know I got blood in my cup. I just sip it like it's grenadine. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war, let's see who make it out. Tell them niggas good night, here come the best. Look, told them niggas get right or get left. UPK bought mine, I pin to your flesh. Hellboy, rip the soul out of dead man shit. Got the rate, the power, I been the showstopper. Yeah, they might hate, but I know they gon' watch. Zone on lock, and you know the flow prop. Iced out, got the drip out of David Jones lock. Know I got the plan, they say that you the man. No shit, Sherlock, I'm the one you heard by. Burn down the building, let them all watch. Throw that one west up, then I swerve out. Sick with this shit, I do not need a detox. He don't watch a step, blow him out them Reeboks. We taking over, I'm sending the word out. Can't see me, little nigga, I put you in a bird box. Look, it's one West practical, gladiator, maximum. Creep on them slow, but they Glock fire rapid. All I want is more power, more straps to blow. Ain't got excuse for no car, he gon' have to go. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out.
Okay, shalom. This is the ISUPK started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, on the combining Johnny and Hannah. Give me 1 second. All right. Now we have classes throughout the week in the UK. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday we have in the school in Birmingham, 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW. So let me get this right. Yeah, so classes during the week every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. at 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW. We also have the Tuesday class, the brother class taught by Manchester Online, and we have the Friday, the Lashawan Qadash, taught by myself online. All right, so we're gonna get into it. Just can everybody hear me? Okay.
Me too.
All right, most are correct. Let me see if it's worth. Nah, it should be too long. All right. Okay, so we're gonna start by sharing the screen. So we're going to continue on from last week's class where we're going over present tense verbs. All right, so let me get the right. Let's see. Yeah, this is the one. Right. So where we got to, we're in present tense, and I believe where we left off is we finished we. Right. Well, first things first. As we like to start off every class, we're going to go through the Hebrew alphabet. So we have Gunnar Stevenson class. Let's see, Khan. Zarpan, can you give me the first 3 letters of the Hebrew alphabet?
The first 3 letters is A, Ba, Ga.
Okay, Ba, Ga. Top 5, can you give me the next 3?
Ha, Wa, Za.
Awaza. Okay, Dahawa. Okay, Isaiah, if you could give me the next 3. So we are at Wa. So the next one is Za. Okay, so we got Zakata. Ezekiel, if you could give me the next 3. Yakala, well done. Tharpa, if you could give me the next 3.
We at Salaki. Is we at Cameron hardly sleep. Is we at
Like to say
which
one more
one we
time.
at? Salaki, where we
We
want
are
at?
where did you finish off? Was it La? Yeah, so we are at Ma.
Ma, Na, Sa, Ah.
Okay, so we're at Ma, Na, Sa. Okay, and then Zarpan, if you could give me the next. So like, give me 1 second. Give me the next 3. So after Sa. So we're at I, Pa, Kwa is not correct. Okay, I, Pa, Tazah, that's right. And let me see. Isaiah, you can give me the no. Give me the next 2. Okay, so you got Kwa and Ra, and then Tafa, give me the last 2. Sha and Tha, well done. Okay, let me check this is correct. I think I might have my camera sideways. Okay. Select the classroom. Okay. So we've gone through the Hebrew alphabet. Well done. Right. Okay. So next thing we're going to continue on from. Last week. So we left off in present tense verb. Okay. So we're going through all the verb rules for each subject. So subjects pronoun being I, you, he, she, we, you all, they, so on and so forth. Okay, so what we did last week is everybody picked a verb. So we're going to get everyone to pick a verb now. You can continue from the verb you chose last week. From this verb sheet, I want everybody to pick a verb, any verb.
Brother Salakia, Brother Richard. Do you want me to use the same? Do you want me to use the same verb that I used last week?
The same. What do you use? Yeah, Khan. Yeah, you use the same verb you used.
The water, no sweat.
So the students in class, I need y'all to pick a verb. Okay, so you're gonna write down gather and write down gather and then write down the Hebrew. So there's two words for gather you could use. You could either use asap, which is to the right, number 622, or you could use kwabatazar. Right. So whichever one you want to write down gather, write in the Hebrew what it is. So if it's asap, you're gonna write asap out in the English letters and then write it out in the Hebrew letters. Okay. Tafar, have you got a verb?
What was the other one? Asap.
Yeah, asap. That's to the right, 622. Yep, there's numbers beside each of them to the right. So it's going in alphabetical order, of course, from right to left. So on the right hand side, you have the A's, the R's, the B's, the D's, so on and so on. No, pick one word. Out of all of them, pick one word.
Okay, so there's two terms for asap.
There's two words for gather, correct.
What's the difference?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I could look into it if you want me to. But just for the sake of today's class, I just need you to pick a verb. We're just going through how, just putting into practice the rules. All right? Has everyone got the word? I need you to pick a word. Pick a word, right? Once you've picked a word, then ask me what else to do. Just pick one word. If you can't pick, I'll give you one. You got one? What is it? Shine. Okay, so you're going to write shine. You're going to write next to it. So shine in the Hebrew. Let me see. Which one is it in? Okay, it's halal, right? Okay, so right hand side, halal. So you're going to write shine. Then next to it, you're going to write halal, right? So H-A-L-A-L. And then next to that, you're going to write that out in the Hebrew. Okay, so it's a ha and two las. So ha, la, la. The last two la's are connected. Just write shine and write next to it halal. H-A-L-A-L. You got your word? Remember? Okay, remember is zakar. Right? So zakar. Z-A-K-A-R. Right? So write out remember, then write zakar. Ezekiel, have you got your word? Tougher, because somebody dim the light. Rise. Okay, so Ezekiel's got rise. Right, rise is quam. Okay,
So you're gonna write rise, the word rise in English, and then you're gonna write QAM, right? Quam. That's rise in the Hebrew. Go ahead. You've written down rise. Okay, that's good. What I want you to do next to that is write in the English letters QAM. Now on this sheet it says Quawam. Now that is actually the present tense. So the word rise is Quam, like you have rise, O Israel, which is Quam Yasha'Allah. On this sheet, I think it's done in the way where all the verbs are 3 letters. So it's done Quawam, which is actually the present tense, which means rising. Okay, so write rise and then next to it write Quam, right? QAM. Okay, you have a question?
Which Hebrew are we writing it in?
The Paleo, the ancient Hebrew.
2 M's. So
QAM. Quam.
I'll pick the word. So pick a word.
Okay, what word you got? Which one? What's up?
609, 690.
Okay, so you have Quabatazar. So when you write gather, and then next to it Quabatazar in the English letters, so Quabataza, Quabatazar, and then right next to it in the ancient Hebrew letters. Okay, so you have a Qua, you have a Ba, and you have a Tazar. If anybody wants to show me what they've done, you can just bring it up to the front so I can check it's correct. Tharpa, you'll be continuing with your word. I forget which one you had. Which one did you have?
Slovakia, I had bend down.
Quabatasa. Okay, so got prison officer has a hab. He says Quabatazar is the real word for gather, right? So that's good because you're using Quabatazar. So like you say one more time.
So I said, Slovakia, I said I have the new word is bend down.
Right, you have the word bend down. Okay. First. Okay. Prison officer has a hobby says asap is properly to add. Okay, so asap means more to add. Quabatasa means to gather. Okay, the other one. Right. So has everybody got their word? Tafa, what have you got? Remember? Right, so everyone has their word and knows how to write it out in Hebrew?
Yeah.
The ancient Hebrew?
Yeah.
Have you got it in the ancient Hebrew, Ezzy?
Mm-hmm.
So the ancient Hebrew is, let me show you. The ancient Hebrew is this one, okay? This Hebrew. So what you want to do is your one will be a qua and a ma. So yours will look like this. So remember, it's going to the right. Your verb is quam. It will look like this, right? That's yours. Quam, which means rise. Okay? We get So once everybody has their word, written it out in Hebrew as well, let me know and then we'll move forward. We'll quickly go over what we went over in the previous classes so everyone has it because I know you guys weren't in the previous class. So we'll quickly go over those. I need you guys to pay attention and follow along because we're not spending too much time on it, all right? Have you got it written out in the Hebrew, Ezzy? IJ, have you got yours down in the Hebrew? Okay, what letters have you got in the Hebrew? No, so your verb, I need to spell it out in the Hebrew letters. How many letters have you got? Okay, what are the letters? You said what's the first one? Ha. Okay. Yeah. You have ha, la, and la. So the ha is what? Is it separate or is it joined with anything? And what about the la? What's about the la? Okay, so ha is separate and the two la's are joined together, making the word ha lal, right? Which means, what does it mean? Shine. Okay, so now we're going to get into the first part of the class. So for my example, I have the verb shama, which means to guard or to watch. Now you're going to have your example. So your word here is going to be shine, remember, gather, and rise. Okay. So to turn a verb into a present tense verb, you add wa. So the letter wa, the Hebrew letter wa, in between the first and the second letter. Okay. So Ezekiel, your verb kwam, which means to rise, to make it present tense, which would be rising, you add a wa in between the first and second letter, right? So what would that be? So you have, so rise is kwam, and to make it rising, you're going to add wa in between the first and second letter. So what's the first letter in kwam? The first Hebrew letter. What two letters have you got in kwam? You got kwa and you got ma, right? Okay, so kwa is the first letter and ma is the second letter. Kwam, right? So to make it present tense, you're going to add a wa in between those two letters, right? So it's instead of kwam, it's going to be kwa wam, right? You add a wa in between. Okay, so I want you to write, you have kwam written down. I want you to write underneath it. So you have rise, kwam, and then kwam in the Hebrew. Beneath it, I want you to write rising, then kwawam, which is Qawam, kwawam, and then right next to it in the Hebrew letters. Okay. Everyone else, I want you to do that for your verb. So you're going to turn your verb into present tense by adding a wa in between the first and the second letter. So halal, so you have three letters in halal, Hebrew letters, ha, la, and la. So to make it present tense, add a y in between the first and second letter. So what does that become? Hawalal, correct. Go ahead. What did you forget? So you're going to write underneath rise, you're going to write rising. So you're making it present tense, right? Okay, so write rising. What's up when you know what you're doing?
Gathering.
Yes, gathering. So you're going to write gathering. Then how would you make a sap or slaki? How would you make kwabatazar present tense? Correct. So you're going to write gathering, then kwawa batazar in like the English letters, and then write it in the Hebrew letters. Well, what would you do for yours for remember? Correct. From zakah to zawakah, right? So we need to write that out. So remembering zawakah in the English letters, and then zawakah in the Hebrew letters. Go ahead. It's kwawam, correct. Right? Okay. So once everyone's got their word down, I'm going to go through the rules. So like therapy, I know you've already been through this last week. I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm going to try and get through the full, all the rules. All right. So we got, I think, 4 more to do for yourself. But if you'd like to, you can follow along. If you want to pick a new verb, you can follow along just to make sure you understand how to turn verbs present tense. Or you could write down my example. You could use the example of shema and make it present tense as shawama, watching.
I'm
The
gonna just
body.
pay attention, Salaki, brother Kanshar.
No sweat. That's the word. If anyone wants to join in online, you can follow along. So if I ask any questions, you can reply in the chat. You could either reply using the English letters to make a Hebrew word. So, example, Qawam, you'd write Qawam, Qawam. Or if you want to write it in the Hebrew, I think the easiest way to do it is to get a Hebrew keyboard on your phone or on your laptop, wherever you're using, and you can type it out. So you need to be able to convert between the, you need to understand the modern Hebrew. Okay, so you need to know what letters are which. You need to know what letters qua, what letters wa, and what letters ma. Well, there's two letters for ma, whether it's on the end or beginning or middle of the word. You got a question? No? Okay. Has everybody finished writing down the word in the Hebrew? Okay. So as if you guys yours written down, so you've got rising, then Qawam in the English letters, Qawam, Qawam with a ma at the end. Qawam. So you're gonna write rising, then Qawam, Qawam, and then next to that you're gonna write out Qawam in the Hebrew. So you're gonna have a Qua, a Wa, and a Ma. You understand? Well, from right to left, so Qua, Wa, and Ma. Qawam. Peace and officer has a hub. He says, when you see Hebrew words that are described by two or more English meanings, refer to the most common use of that concordance code in the King James Version to get the true root definition from this build. Can't of the one can't. So if there's two words that seemingly mean the same thing, you'd refer to the most common one. So whichever is most commonly used for that word, that will be the true root definition. So that's like, for example, where you have Asap and Kwabatazar, you'll see Asap sometimes being referred to as gather, but for the most part, if you look in the Bible or the concordance, you'll see Kwabatazar used mainly. So that would be the true root definition. Okay. So everybody should have their word. Well, now, so we'll do Ezekiel's for an example. So Ezekiel's yours should look like this, right? So you got rising, then Qawam. Is Ezzy pay attention? Ezzy, you done it? All right, no sweat. Okay, so Ezzy should look like rising. So you're rising in the English, then Qawam, and then Qawam in the Hebrew, right? The same thing we've done for the past previous weeks. Let's see. He's known as a Zahab. He says, all other English words are just the interpretation of black talk, right? Okay, so all of the words, it's like you might use a word informally, or like how, I don't know, black people call money bread, things like that. It's how they've tried to interpret how we talk, right? So they might not fully understand. They might see the word, a sap and define it as gather, but that would just be like an informal word, right? Whereas a root word is kwabatazar. Okay. Right. So is everybody ready to go? Okay. Shalom also to everybody that's in the class. We got Tharpa who's in the class as well, class live. So if anybody wants to join these classes live as well, all you need to do is contact me via Facebook at Ra'alban Banyamyan or via email at ra'albanbanyamyan@gmail.com. So you'll find those contact details in the description as well. All right. Okay, IJ, are you ready to move on? I need you to get ready quickly, all right? Okay. Let me check this. Give me 1 minute. It's like your therapist. Can you still hear me? I just wanted to check my internet connections to work.
You staticking a little bit.
Slacky, say one more time.
I can hear you a little bit, but you staticking a little bit at your end.
Okay, so you can't hear me too clearly.
I can hear you clearly.
All right, no sweat. Let me Okay.
Like
all right, no sweat. I'll try and speak louder. Okay. All right, no sweat. Okay, IJ, you ready to go? Okay. So, to turn a verb into present tense, what you're going to do is add wa in between the first and second letter, right? Okay, so for the subject of I or I am, if the subject is masculine, so if it's me or any of the students in class saying, the brothers in class, you'd say I or I am, which is anya. And then for the verb, you add wa in between the first and second letter, which is what we've just done. So, for example, to say I am watching, it would be anya shawama, right? So, what I want you to do is write for each of your verbs, I want you to write these first two lines the same as how they are now. So, the subject being I or I am, the masculine, which is anya. Then you're going to write the rule down. So, the rule for this subject is you add a wa in between the first and second letter, and that's for the verb, okay? So you add a wa in between the first and second letter of the verb to make it present tense. My connection isn't good. And then your example line will be different. Your example line will be specific to your verb, right? The verb you've written down, okay? So you'll go ahead. So the first two lines write exactly the same. So subject I or I am, anya in the Hebrew. You want to make sure that it's masculine because there's a different rule for if it's feminine. Okay, so you're writing down the rules for each of these subjects. So each of these subject pronouns. So the first one we have is I or I am in the masculine sense, right? So you're going to write subject I or I am masculine, okay? Now the word for I or I am, whether it's masculine or feminine, is anya. So these two are the same, but the rule is different on whether it's masculine or feminine, okay? So the first one we're going to do is I or I am in the masculine. So write the subject line and the rule line the same. Just write these down. And then your example will be based on your verb. Okay, so my example, I have the verb watch. The present tense is watching, shawama. So my example is I am watching. Your example will be I am gathering, right? RJ's example will be I am shining. Okay, your example will be I am rising, so on and so forth, right? And you're going to write what it is in the Hebrew. Go ahead. You're going to write the subject and rule line down. Write these two down, okay? Just write them down just as they are. Write them down in your notepad. Okay, so Zahabi said, okay. He says, watch this phone for me doesn't really mean to look at it, but means to guard it. Okay, so like in the example of watch, in this case, watch in English means more to look at, whereas the word we use for watch, which is more used for guard, is shema, right? So if you're asking somebody to watch something for you, you're really asking them to guard it for you. So you'd use the word shema. Okay. Right, so everybody should be writing the first two lines. So the subject, I or I am, masculine, you're going to write anya, okay? Then you're going to write the rule, add wa in between the first and second letter, okay? And then the last line, which is the example line, that's going to be specific to the verb that you've chosen, okay? So my example is I am watching, which is anya shawama. Your example will be different. It will be I am shining, which is anya hawalak, hawalal, right? Yours will be anya kwawa batazar, right? I am gathering. So that's what I want you to do, okay? Does everybody understand, or you need it broken down further? Go ahead. Okay, so the first two lines, you see the subject and the rule line? Write them down. You did it? Then your example line, you're going to write example, and your example, instead of I am watching, yours is going to be I am shining, okay? So I am shining in the Hebrew is what? That's shining. How do you say I am shining? Anya hawalal, correct. So you're going to write example, I am shining, anya hawalal. Okay? That's it. That's what I want you to do. Okay. So, Tharpa, if you could look at your notes from last week, could you tell me how would you say I am bending down in the Hebrew from the verb you chose last week?
So lucky I have to go downstairs and run and look at my notebook.
No sweat. Has anybody finished theirs? Okay, Tafara, how would you say I am remembering? Anya Zawaka. Okay. So if you want to, if you finish early, you can write it out in the Hebrew as well. So you're gonna write Anya in the Hebrew, Zawaka in the Hebrew. Now you don't have to because we're going over it quickly, but you should be able to convert where you write Anya Zawaka or Anya Shawama. You should be able to convert that into the Hebrew letters. Okay, go ahead. Come up to show me. So you have, right, okay, so now your example line, you're going to write example, and then you're going to write I am rising. Okay, so your verb is rising, which is kwawam. So I am rising will be what? How would you say I am rising? So that's rising. How would you say I am rising? How do you say I or I am? It's in the first line. This right here. Anya. Okay. So Anya is how you say I or I am. So I am rising is Anya Kwawam. Right? So that's what you're going to write down. So write example, I am rising, Anya Kwawam. Okay? Got it? All right, go ahead.
And then in the Hebrew as well.
You can write it down in the Hebrew as well if you finished. For time's sake, Ezekiel, just write it in sort of the English letters. You got a question or Laura?
So
Get yours down? Go ahead. Stop on the other question.
I'm just gonna say Anya Kwawabataza.
Correct. Anya Kwawabataza means I am gathering, okay, in the masculine sense. Right. So once Ezzy gets this written down, so you're gonna have I am rising, then Anya Kwawam, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. We're gonna get through. We still have a bit to get through. All right, so we're gonna see where we get to. If you can work quickly and efficiently, then sure. If you finish the first line, then write the second one down. Okay, so the second rule for is if you're saying I or I am, but in the feminine sense. So say this is a sister saying this. Okay, so if your sister's saying I am watching, the rule is to the verb you add a Y in between the first and second letter. So that's consistent throughout all the rules. But you're also going to add a ha to the end. Okay, so the Hebrew letter ha, going to add that to the end. Okay, so Anya Shawama becomes Anya Shawamara. Okay, now the reason it's written like that and not Shawama ha is because when you add, say again, Anya Kwawam is I am rising. If a brother's saying it, if you're saying it, it's Anya Kwawam. Now what we're going over now is if a sister's saying it, so in the feminine sense, you add a Y in between the first and second letter, and then you add a ha at the end. Okay, so let me use Ezekiel's example. Okay, so Kwawam, you have a Kwa, Wa, and Ma. Now if it's feminine, you add a ha at the end. Okay, so now this word, instead of being Kwawam ha, the ma and the ha will join together. Okay, so now instead of being Kwawam, it's going to be Kwa Wa Ma, right? So Kwa Wa Ma. Instead of being Kwawam, Kwa Wa Ma in the feminine sense. So if a sister's saying, I am rising, it's going to be Anya Kwa Wa Ma, okay? So we would write it like this, Kwa Wa Ma. Okay? So for example, if a sister's rising, it's Kwa Wa Ma. You add a ha at the end. When you add this ha, it becomes joined with the ma. So it becomes Kwa Wa Ma. Now, if you have a word that already ends in ha, I believe you just add another ha, so then it would be what's the example? Say again.
The H, the ha.
So an example would be like the verb unclean, tama'a. I think we went through last week. So that ends. Well, actually, that ends in a ah. If you find a verb that ends in a ha, you'd follow the same rule. All right, but in this one, it joins to the ma. So Kwawa Ma. Go ahead.
I'm supposed to do it like that.
Yes. So no, you don't have to write it out in the Hebrew letters. So what I want you to do now is this second one. So again, you're writing these two lines the same, but your example will be different. Okay. Let me see. Shalom to all the people that's joining in online as well. We got, as I was saying earlier, we have Tarpa who's in the class. We've got Precinct Officer Hazahab of New York, our headquarters. We got Marcia Spears, Yahweh Shemar Ataba Shemi Al Shai, and we got Crystal G, checking in from South Carolina. Property of Precinct Officer 50, I'm a ward. No sign cross. So does everybody know what they're doing? Okay. You finished? Yeah. Okay, so how would you say she is shining? No, so how would you say I am shining if it's a sister saying it? Correct. Correct. So Anya Hawalala, right? So if you was to write out Hawalala in the Hebrew, you'd write, so you have Ha, Wa, Lao. Oops. So Hawalal, if I connect it, so Ha, Wa, Lao. This is shine in the Hebrew, Hawalal. Now to make it feminine, you're going to add a Ha at the end. Okay, so this La now becomes connected with the Ha. So it becomes Ha, Wa, so Ha, Wa, La, La. Okay, L-A-H. Right? Okay. What have you got for, how would you say, I am remembering if it's a sister saying it? Anya Zawakara, correct. Okay. Ezzy, what have you got? For I am rising, if it's a sister saying it. What would that be? So that would be in the masculine sense. Now, if it's feminine, you need to add a ha at the end. Okay. So when you add a ha to kwawam, so I'll write it out for you. So you have kwawam. Okay. Now when it's feminine, you add a ha at the end. Okay. And then this ma and the ha now become joined. Okay. So instead of kwawam, what does this now read? If you used to read this, so letter by letter, what does this read? So you got kwa, wa. Look at the board. Look at the board real quick. So if you read this out, you got kwa, wa, and then this is ma. You have a ma and a ha joined together, right? So it makes ma, M-A-H. Okay? So kwa, wa, ma. So I am rising in the feminine sense is anya, kwa, wa, ma. Right? Okay. Hey, shalom, Diana. Yabashimala Thabashim Yashai.
Shalom.
So what we're doing in this week is we're continuing off from last week with the present tense verbs. Now, were you in last week's class? I believe you were. Now I've had to drop off early. But do you have a verb from last week's when we're going through the present tense verbs? Yes, no? It's like you still there, Diana?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was asking, so was you here in last week's class where we went through the present tense verbs?
Can you repeat that?
Con. So was you here last week when we were going through present tense verbs? In last week's class.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, no sweat. So from your notes, what verb do you have?
Yeah.
Okay, so Upon, have you got yours down? I think so. Let me see. So how would the sister say I am gathering?
So it's it would be Anya or Wawa Bataza.
So Anya Kwawa Bataza with a ha at the end, right? Because it's feminine.
But you're just it's connected, right? Because
it's connected, right? Yeah. So it'd be the taza at the end would have a h at the end.
Right.
So the taza and the ha would join together to make it sounds the same in English, but it looks different in the Hebrew, right? I guess the difference would be if you say in taza, it'd be taza, and then in the feminine it would be taza, right? To distinguish. So instead of anya kwawabataza, it's anya kwawabataza. Okay. Moving on. So the next one we have you. Oh, go ahead.
I've not written it out.
Okay. So Diana, what verb did you have from last week? Slacky, I'm not sure if you responded, Diana. You're on mute.
What did you say?
I was saying, what verb did you have from last week? Of course.
I had shine.
You have shine? Okay, so you have hawalal for shining, right? So how would you say you are shining if it's a brother saying it? I mean, if you're referring to a brother. So how would you say you are shining? So first of all, how would you say you in the Hebrew?
Can you repeat that?
Come. So how would you say? So I'm asking, how would you say you are shining if you're referring to a brother? Okay. So firstly, how would you say you in the Hebrew?
Asa.
Correct. So you is atha, right? So looking at the rule for verbs, if you're saying you talking to a brother, it follows the same rules, the same pattern. And that pattern is just to add the Y in between the first and second letter. Okay? So how would you say, and this is the first and second letter of the verb, okay? So halal becomes hawalal, right? So how would you say you are shining talking to a brother?
Asa wa la.
So atha hawalal. Correct. Well done. Right? So the verb, all you do to the verb is add the Y in between the first and second letter. Okay, so you'd say atha, which means you, and then hawalal, which means shining, right? So to say you are shining, atha hawalal. Okay. Now looking at the second rule here, how would you say you are shining talking to a sister? So the rule is that you follow the same pattern, so adding the wa in between first and second letter, but you also add a ha at the end of the word. Okay? So how would you say you are shining talking to a sister? This is for Diana. The rest of the stuff to write.
Asa hawala ha.
Correct. So it'd be a tha, hawala, la. So hawala, la. Right? So the last la and ha would become joined together to make la. So it'd be hawala la, being Hawalah. Wait, did I say that right? Hawalah. Hawala la. Go ahead, you have a question? Okay, no sweat. So in this one, the subject is you, masculine. So this is, I'm talking to you, brothers, right? If I'm saying you are, what's your one? If I'm saying you are rising, right? This is the rule. It just follows the same pattern of adding the Y in between the first and second letter. So all of these follow that rule. So you don't need to keep writing add Y in between the first and second letter. It just follows the same pattern. Okay? So if you were to say you are rising, how would you say that in the Hebrew, Ezekiel? Talking to a brother. If you were to say to me, you are rising, how would you say that? So how do you say you in the Hebrew? So we have I is Anya. What's you? It's on the board. So we have you. And what's you in the Hebrew? Atha, correct. Right? So how would you say you are rising? So you have atha, which means you. And then how would you say rising? Kwawam. Okay, so you are rising is what? Put it together. So Ezekiel, to say you are rising, how would you say that full sentence? Mm-hmm. Correct. Atha kwawam. You are rising. Okay. Now there's no Hebrew word for are. Okay, so you just say you rising. The are is implied. The I or the are or the am is implied. Right? So you are rising is atha kwawam. Go ahead. You, yeah. So if you're saying you are shining, you the literal words you're using is you and shining. Okay, so how would you say you are shining in the Hebrew? Talking to a brother. How what? How allow, correct. So you are rising, you are shining, talking to a brother, is atha hawallah. Okay, how would you say that referring to a sister? Mm-hmm. No, correct, no sweat. Look at the rule on the screen. Apply it. Correct. Atha hawallah. Right? That's how you'd say it talking to a sister. All right. So y'all continue. Get these rules down. Hey, shalom, sis. We got just art and paint. Shalom, Yahweh Shemal Al Bashim Yal Shai. Okay. Who else we got? Sarah, can you tell me how you would say you are bending down talking to a sister?
Would I say Aya Shawa Aya?
So first, Lucky, if you could tell me what's bending down in the Hebrew, you could refresh my memory.
Let me see. I think if I'm bending down is something. I wrote it.
So bend down is shaka, right?
Kind.
So bending down, how do you say bending down?
Aya. Or no, Salakia, right?
So you add a Y in between the first and second letter.
Salakia, do I say Ata or Aya?
In this case, if you're saying you are bending down, you're saying atha.
Ata Shawa Akar, correct?
So that is how you'd say if you're referring to a brother. So atha shawaka. If you're referring to a sister, you need to add another ha at the end, right? So it becomes atha shawaka ha. You understand?
Common kind.
All right, no sweat. How would you say she has been? Let me see. How would you say? Let's go a bit forward. How would you say we are bending down? From what you have in your notes.
Aya Shakwa Aya.
So what is we in the Hebrew?
Ata, correct?
So atha is you.
Well, I say Salakia, Ata, no Haya is we.
So we in the Hebrew is anaknawa, right?
Kind.
So anaknawa is we. So how would you say we are bending down? So you're gonna refer back to your notes and look at we and then the rule with we. Okay. Has everybody finished their examples for you, masculine and feminine? No sweat. All right, continue. Ezekiel, have you got the rules down for you, masculine and feminine? You got them written down, those two? I just need a yes or a no. You don't know? What have you written? Let me see what you've written. Bring it to me. Pick up that headpiece as well on your way back. On your way back. All right, let's come. Okay, let me see. So you've written, so this is a subject you, masculine, all right? Atha, that's correct. So you are rising, Atha, Kwawam. Perfect. Okay, so the next one you're going to do is you are rising in the feminine, okay? So you see that bottom one here? So you're going to write out the next one. So you can write it down here. You are rising feminine, right? And then write the rule and then write it out in the English. Okay. It's like your sister, Tharapa. Did you have your notes? So you have the rule for how you'd say we are doing something. So how you'd say we are bending down. How would you say that?
Salaki, I didn't write down we.
Okay.
Last week I had to make a phone call last week.
All
So
right.
I don't
No
have
sweat.
we.
No sweat. No problem. We'll get there. Go ahead. So you're going to write down the feminine one, right? So subject, you, feminine. Is Atha the same? The rule is you're going to write the first two lines the same, right? And then your example will be Atha Kwawama, right? Because you add the ha at the end. So like the same way a sister would say, I am rising, which is Anya Kwawama. You are rising, talking to a sister would be Atha Kwawama. Okay? Follows that same kind of pattern. Okay. All right, so we're going to release the next set. So Ezekiel, you can continue on Atha. So the next one is he. So to say he is doing something, all you're doing is adding the Y between the first and second letter of the verb. So he is shining is how what? How are? How allow. So how allow is he is shining, right? Tafa, how would you say he is remembering? Hawa'a zawaka, correct. He is remembering, right? Tazapon, how would you say he is gathering? So there's no Hebrew word for is. So you just say he gathering. Hawa'a kwawabataza, right? He is gathering. Let me see. Tharpa'a, how would you say he is? How would you say he is bending down? Pause. So I can. This is just for educational purposes. I ain't picking. But how would you say that? How would you say? I don't know. He's picking something up. How would you say he is bending down?
Do I say Hawaii? Slovakia. I'm getting distracted. My son is making noise. Slovakia.
That's what you swore.
Do I say a thought? Hawaii?
So if you're saying he in the Hebrew is what?
I know. But,
It's on the screen as well. Can anybody else tell me what he in the Hebrew is? Hawa'ah, right? So he in the Hebrew is Hawa'ah, okay? And the rule for Hawa'ah, so when you're saying he is doing something in the present tense, the rule is you're just adding the Y in between the first and second letter, okay? So he is bending down is Hawa'ah, Shawaka. Go ahead. You're on he? Well done. Most High in Christ. Okay, so how would Ezekiel, how would you say he is rising? So you got So the rule is that it follows the same pattern, and that's just adding the Y in between the first and second letter, okay, of the verb. So you know Kwawam, rising. Say again. Say one more time.
Ha.
What's ha? So how do you say he in the Hebrew? You had it right before. Hawa'ah, correct. Now, how do you say rising in the Hebrew? Kwawam, right? So he is rising is Hawa'ah Kwawam, right? Again, there's no word for is in the Hebrew. It's just implied by the context. Okay, so you wouldn't say, there wouldn't be three words for he is rising. It's just he rising. You have a question? No? Okay. We'll scroll down a bit so y'all can get the rule for she. Go ahead. You're nearly done? Okay, you're nearly done he. No sweat. So Diana, how would you say she is shining? Right? So you're giving your sister a compliment and I don't know, she's having a baby and you're saying she's shining. How would you say that in Hebrew?
Hayya halaha.
So haya'ah, hawalala, right? That's correct. Well done.
All right, my AC done.
So haya'ah meaning she, and then hawalala meaning rise, meaning shining, right? In the feminine sense. Because you add the ha at the end. Well done. Okay. So we are up to here. So the next part, so the first two parts for I, you, he, and she are fairly simple. You're either just adding the Y between the first and second letter, or adding the Y between the first and second letter and the ha at the end, depending on whether it's masculine and feminine. Okay, so those all follow the same pattern. Add a Y in between the first and second letter if it's masculine, do the same, and then add a ha as well at the end if it's feminine. Okay, now next we're going on to speaking about multiple people. Okay, so there's different rules, right? So we'll go on to reveal we. So who can tell me how you say we in the Hebrew? Correct. So we is a naknawa, right? So, and what's the rule? Could you read out the rule for me, Tafari?
The rule follows the same pattern.
Okay. So for the verb, it follows the same pattern, adding the Y in between first and second, but you also add yam at the end to make it plural because you're talking about multiple people now. Okay, so Tafari, how would you say we are remembering? Zawakayam, right? Anaknawa Zawakayam. We are remembering. Okay. Who else can I pick on? I'm joking. It's our point. How would you say we are gathering? No sweat. Go ahead. Let me get someone else. Go ahead.
Say that again. How would you say what?
How would you say we are gathering?
Gathering. Yeah. Anakna Obatazar.
What else do you do?
Selected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anaknawa Obatazar. Yeah.
Correct. Anaknawa kwawa batazayam. Right? Or kwawa batazayam. We are gathering. Okay? Let me see. Sarapa, how would you say, pause, how would you say we are bending down? Salakia. This isn't true, right? This is fake news.
Anakawa.
How would you say this if you was to, in theory, hypothetically?
Anakawa. Chicago. Slovakia. It's hard for me to say the last one. It's Anakawa.
No sweat. Anaknawa. And then
Shakwar.
It would be Shawaka Yam. Right?
Fine.
So bending down is Shawaka. So you have a Sha, Wa, a Ka, and a Ha. And then to make it, we are bending down, it would be Anaknawa Shawaka Yam. Anaknawa Shawaka Yam. Okay? Most High in Christ. Who else have we got? Boy. you know, coming in with this one? I reckon you can do it. It's easy. Go on. How would you say we are shining? Mm-hmm. Correct. That's perfect. To say we are shining, well done. Anaknawa hawalal yam, right? So hawalal is shining. You're making it plural. You add the yam at the end. So anaknawa hawalal yam. Well done. Okay. So that's we. Ezekiel, how would you say we are rising? So how would you say we in the Hebrew? Anaknawa, perfect. So how would you say we are rising? What do you do to the verb? What do you do to kwam to make it we are rising? So kwam is rise, kwawam is rising. Now how do you say we are rising? So we've got we, which is anaknawa. And then for rising, it follows the same pattern, adding the Y in between the first and second letters, so kwawam. And then you also add yam at the end because it's plural, okay? Say again. What's R? So there's no Hebrew word for R. No Hebrew word for is or are. It's just implied. So you just say we rising, okay? So we is a naknawa. Rising in this context would be kwawam, and then what else do you do to kwawam? What's the rule? The last part of the rule. What do you add at the end? Pick the headpiece up. If you read them, okay, so Kwawam is rising, right? If you're talking about a single person, if I'm saying you are rising, it would be Atha Kwawam. Okay, but if I'm saying we are rising, we are all rising, it's plural. Okay, so what do you add at the end to make it plural? It's on the screen. So it follows the same pattern, adding the Y in between first and second letter, and then you add yam at the end to make it plural. Okay, so Kwawam becomes what? Kwawam yam, right? So it'd be, say, we are rising is Anaknawa. Kwawam yam. Anaknawa Kwawam yam is we are rising. Okay, make sure you write that down. So Anaknawa Kwawam yam. It's important to add the yam. Okay, go ahead. Let me see. We are on we. We've got about 20 minutes of class left. We've got 4 more to go through. We'll just blast through these 4, right? Okay, so we've done anak now. We've done we. Okay. So the next rule we have is the subject of you all. Okay, so we have 2 different rules for masculine and feminine. So if I'm saying you all in the masculine sense, it's a thumb in the Hebrew. So and the rule is it follows the same pattern, adding the Y in between the first and second letter. And again, you're adding a yam to make it plural. You're adding a yam at the end. Okay. So for my example, y'all are watching or y'all are guarding is a thumb shawama yam. Okay. You have a Y between the first and second letter and a yam at the end. You can see on the screen to where I've bolded it. That's what you do to the verb. That's what you add to the verb to make it fit the subject, to make it present tense, and in this case, plural for you all. Okay? So make sure you'll write that down and do it for your verb. Okay. It's like for this person that commented, didn't the Bible come from the Catholic Church? The Bible did not come from the Catholic Church. The Bible came from our forefathers, the prophets that wrote it down in the scrolls. The scrolls were then preserved. The Most High had them preserved. And King James had it translated from the Hebrew and Greek into the languages we speak today. So into English, Spanish, French. He had them translated so we could read it today. Okay. The Catholic Church then adopted the Bible and used it to teach their slave religion, but the Bible does not come from the Catholic Church. Okay, the Bible is before Christianity, before Islam, before anything. All right, they just use our book, but it was our historical records. The Bible is not a religious book. It's a book about history, right? It teaches Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians who they were and where they were before slavery. All right, it teaches you how we got into slavery and how to get out, right? That's right. It's a history book, and it also tells us about the future and the present. The Bible tells us about right now, right? Let me see. Okay, so the next rule we're on is you all, masculine plural. Okay, so a thumb, you add the Y between first and second letter and add yam to the end. Okay, so let me see. Let me not ask Starbar because her verb is a bit paused. Let me ask Diana. Diana, how would you say you all are shining talking to a group of brothers? All right. So say they're a shining example. How would you say y'all are shining?
Atham Halalyam.
So a thumb, and then to the verb, you're still adding the Y in between the first and second letter. So it would be a thumb, then what?
Halalyam.
Hawalalyam. That's perfect, right? So a thumb, hawalalyam. So if I'm talking to these brothers in class, if I'm saying y'all are shining, a thumb, hawalalyam, right? Perfect. Well done. Tafari, how would you say y'all are remembering?
Atham.
Zawakayam. Well done. A thumb, zawakayam is y'all are remembering, right? Well done for remembering. Okay. So you apply those to your verb, you get the same thing in the present tense. Are you confused, Ozzy? Do you know how you'd say y'all? If I'm saying to you guys, y'all are rising, right? How would I say that? So you all are rising. So you all is a thumb, right? This one here. So you or y'all is a thumb, right? So similar to we are rising, which is anaknawa kwawawamyam. It's like a kwawamyam. How would you say y'all are rising? Talking to a group of brothers. So Ezzy, how would you say y'all are rising? Talking to a group of brothers. I'm also go ahead. How would you say y'all are gathering? Correct. A thumb, kwawabatazayam, right? Kwawabatazayam. Okay. How would you say y'all are gathering talking to a group of sisters?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So a thumb, same again, a thumb.
A thumb, so there's a slight difference. So a thumb talking to a group of brothers ends in a ma. A thumb is sisters. Go ahead.
A thumb, kwawabatazar.
Kwawabatazar.
Kwawabatazar. Yam. Kwawabatazayam.
La.
A thumb. Oh, so
look at the rule.
Where is it? Yeah. Athan
Kwawabatazar.
Athan Kwawabatazar Batazar Wath.
Wath, correct. So to say y'all are gathering, be saying you all talking to a group of sisters. The rule is you add Y between the first and second letter, and you add wath at the end. So wath is the feminine plural, okay? So to say y'all are gathering, it's athan kwawa batazawath, okay? How would you say y'all are shining? How would you say that, IJ, talking to a group of sisters? Mm-hmm. Nice and loud. Athan. Correct. Athan hawalalwath. Right? Make sure you're writing these down. You got these written down? Most High in Christ. Okay. Tharpa'ah. How would you say y'all are bending down, talking to a group of sisters?
Aladan sa waman. Ah. Adan.
So bending down is shawaka.
So Aladan shawaka.
So for this case, it's just a thun, by the way. So you all talking to a group of sisters is a thun, and then bending down is shawaka. But for this case, you also add wath at the end to make it plural, right? So how would you say y'all are bending down, talking to a group of sisters?
Aladan. Do I say the whole word? Adan. Cha. Cha.
So a fan, and then shawaka, and then what do you add to that to make it fit the subject?
Wath.
Wath. So it'd be a fan.
Aladan shawar. Wath.
So it'd just be a fan, shawaka. What else? So a fan, shawaka, wath. Right?
Come on.
All right, no sweat. Make sure you're writing these down as well, so you know how to do it in future. Okay, so Athan Shawaka Wath is y'all are bending down, talking to a group of sisters. Okay. Go ahead. You have two more, correct. So where's everyone up to? Has everyone finished the rule for a thumb? You all talk to group. No? Okay. Is there anybody still writing this rule, the rule for a thumb? You still writing it? All right, continue. But there's no, is anybody still writing a knock now? Okay. So the next rule is they. So they talking about a group of brothers. They're saying they are doing something. So if I'm saying they are watching, it would be ham. And then the rule for the verb is it follows the same pattern and adds yam at the end. Okay. So they are watching is ham shawamayam. Right? So ham shawamayam. Used to plug in any other verb. Tafar, how would you say they are remembering? Correct. Ham zawakayam. Right? They are remembering. So remember is zakar. For the verb, you add y in between the first and second letter. So zawakar. Then you add yam at the end. So zawakayam. Ham zawakayam. Right? That's how you turn remember into they are remembering. Ham zawakayam. Okay. Let me see. Give you some time to write it down. Okay, does everybody else want to give me their example for they? I looked at it like I was going to fight me. Where are you up to that one?
I'm doing a thumb now.
You're doing a thumb?
A thumb.
A thumb still? Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, no sweat. Okay, so we have the example of they are guarding, they are remembering. Is anybody else ready until I do comes back? He's gone for a toilet break. Keyword break. Let me give you all another example. Or Diana, could you give me the example of they are shining, talking to a group of brothers, or talking about a group of brothers? So they are shining. The second to last one, so there's one more. Where are you up to now? Are you up to they? Well done. Very good. So Diana, how would you say they are shining, talking about a group of brothers? We're almost there, Ezekiel. Almost there. Don't give up the ghost, man. Almost there. Enduring he that endureth until the end, the same shall inherit the kingdom of heaven. So Diana, how would you say they are shining? I see you're taking a lot of toilet breaks there.
Hallelujah.
Say one more time.
Hallelujah.
Correct. So Ham Hawalalyam. That's correct. Well done. Is they are shining. Right? So Hawalal is shining in the regular context, and then you add yam at the end to make it plural. Okay, so Ham Hawalalyam. Okay, does that one have you finished a thumb? Okay, so how would you say yes? So there's just have you done a than? Have you done you all talking to feminine? Yeah. Okay, so there's just two more. There's two more. They masculine and they feminine. There ain't no non-binary or both. They thems is either they masculine or they feminine. Okay. I need to move to the last one. So for how would you say they in the feminine sense? Han, correct. Okay, so using what we've learned about the feminine and the plural, okay, it's going to follow the same pattern. How would you say they are remembering in the feminine sense? Correct. Han Zawakar Wath is they are remembering, talking about a group of sisters. Okay. So again, for Han, it follows the same pattern, adding the Y between the first and second letter. you add a wath at the end to make it plural. Okay. Tizapon, did you finish a thumb? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see here at the end, they, talking in the feminine sense, is han. Follows the same pattern. You add a wath at the end to make it plural. Okay. So they are watching, talking about a group of sisters, is han shawamawath. Okay. So that's the last rule for the present tense verbs. Once we get all this down, we're good to go. If anybody has any questions in the class or any questions online, just put them in. I'll answer all your questions. Again, to let you all know, if anybody wants to join these classes live, you can join online. So if you contact me via Facebook at Ra'alban Banyamian or via email at ra'albanbanyamian@gmail.com. If you let me know your name, your zone, and the name of your camp leader, we can see about getting the link to you to join these classes live. Also, we teach these classes live in Manchester. Okay, the address is Support for Progress. So the building Support for Progress, the number 4. Support for Progress, Westwood Street, and the postcode M14 4SW. Okay, again, that's M14 4SW. So we teach these classes live in Manchester every Friday from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. All right. Now, if you're looking to join these classes, definitely hit me up on Facebook also, just so I can let you know if there's any updates. For example, if class is going to be late, I can let you know via Facebook. All right. So definitely follow me on Facebook for any updates. Again, you'll find my Facebook in the description. It's Ra'alban Banyamian. Okay. That's my name and my tribe, Ra'alban Banyamian. IJ, how would you say they are shining? Talking about a group of sisters. Correct. Han Hawalalwath. They are shining. Talking about a group of sisters. Ezekiel, how would you say they are rising? Talking about a group of brothers. So in the masculine sense, they are rising. You are on camera, by the way. Getting them games in. All right. Ham, correct. Kwawam Yam. Right? So Kwawam is rising. And then because it's plural, you add Yam at the end. So Kwawam becomes Kwawam Yam. Right? So they are rising is close. What's the first part again? It's not Yam. Ham. Kwawam Yam. That's perfect. So they are rising, talking about a group of brothers. If I'm saying all these brothers, they are rising. Ham Kwawam Yam. Well done. Okay. Tharapa'ah. How would you say they are bending down? Talking about a group of sisters. All right.
Ham, shawarm, ham, shalaki, ham, shamar.
So the first part, if you're saying they referring to sisters, it's not ham, it's han, right?
Han, shalaki at the water.
That's
Han, shamar, yayam.
So your verb is shawaka, meaning bending down, right?
Kind.
So to say they are bending down, it would be Han. We can continue.
Shamar Yam, I think, for the first one.
So we're looking at this one down here. So you're using the example Shawama, which is to God, but your example should be bending down, which is Shawaka, right?
Con.
So to say they are bending down, it's Han, and then you apply the rule here to your verb Shaka, Shawaka, Wath, right? So
Con.
to say they are bending down, it's Han, Shawaka, Wath.
Salaki,
Okay,
okay. Water.
no sweat. If you need me as well, I can send you. I'm not sure if I've sent you these already, but I can send you the study guide for the present tense verbs. So you can go over them. So Han Shawaka Wath is they are bending down. Okay. Ezekiel, how would you say they are rising, talking about a group of sisters? Close, very close. So it's Han Kwawam, that's right. But then for the feminine, you add Wath at the end to make it plural, right? So they are rising, talking about a group of sisters, is Han Kwawam, which is rising. And then you add at the bottom. What do you use to make it plural? That's the masculine. What the feminine is what? Wath, right? So it's Han Kwawam Wath, right? So they are rising, talking about a group of sisters, is Han Kwawam Yath, Kwawam Wath, Salakia, right? Okay. I think we're good to go. So once everyone is finished writing, just let me know and we will close out with the class. So I know when I think it was around 2-3 weeks ago, the past tense verbs, there's a little bit more complexity. That's the right word. I was going to say inconsistency, but complexity is the better word. There's a little more complexity with those. With the present tense verbs, it's very simple. For the masculine singular, you're just adding wa in between the first and second letter. For the feminine singular, you're adding wa in between the first and second and adding ha at the end. Okay? For the masculine plural, or if you're saying we as well, that's also included. You're adding the y in between first and second letter and adding yam at the end to make it plural. For the feminine plural, you're adding the y in between first and second, and you're adding wath at the end to make it plural. Okay? So really you could simplify it all in just those 3 rules, or I guess 4. You want to make sure you know the rule for each individual subject pronoun, okay, which is why I went through each of them, right? So you'll know now how to say, we are giving, or they are watching, or you are shining. You know how to say those words. All you need is the verb, right? You can plug it in that rule and apply it to any verb. Okay. Diana and Tharpa, have you guys finished writing down, or is there anything else you need to write down?
I'm done.
I'm finished writing down.
Diana, did you say you were finished as well? Slack you.
Yeah.
Okay, most on cross.
That last one.
Yeah, Han. No, sir. Or do you want to close out and then write down afterwards?
Yeah.
All right. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Precinct Officer 500 to Zapawan, whose name means Northwood, King of the North. All right. You can close out with the salute.
Yeah. All right. Hello, visual. Majim. Majim Shabbat. Majim. All right. Yahweh Hashem Yahshai Brakatham.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshai Brakatham.
Yadimata. Sa, which means to 10. Salute the sisters. All right. Majim Shabbat. Majim.
Yahweh Shema Alathan B'Hashem Yahushai.
Yahweh Shema Alathan B'Hashem Yahushai.
Yadimata. Class dismissed.
All right. The Wild FM for joining. Y'all did very well. I will see you guys next week. We can either, I'm going to give you all the choice. We can either go on to future tense verbs, or we can take a bit break from verbs and we'll go into something. We can do colors. You guys want to continue with verbs, or do you want to go on to colors? We'll take a break. Colors. He's doing domain expansion. Colors. All right. Next week we'll take a bit of a break from verbs and we'll go into colors. All right. So I'll see you guys next week for that. Yahweh Shema Alathan B'Hashem Yahushai.
Shalom. Yahweh Shema Alathan.
Oh,
finish out.
Don't have messed up, no. Bad news is to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crate that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even Lord or this Lord, told that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about any part. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Hopper Free. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking note. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I'm making like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crate that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole car. You ain't know